Hello, everybody, and I am speaking to our Facebook page group, fans, family, and friends of Hyperborea in Simultaneity of Being beyond the holographic universe. And I am here to do the second video to the science of being that we started a couple of weeks ago, and I promise that I will be back. So here I am, and I will try to continue with the explanations from the first part, and it will be very helpful if one goes to watch part 1 first. It will make more sense of what I'm going to say in this one. But I will come and go over first what we mean by science of beingness or natural law, and that way we can start with the fundamentals. So the fundamentals of natural law is that who you are, your nature, is your essence, the I am. You know yourself as the essence, and the essence of being, and the one that you know yourself to be is the embodiment of it, or the manifestation of it. Yes? And the outer universe, all the manifest universe outside of yourself, the one that you are observing, is a mirror of you. It's actually a byproduct of your existence, of your knowingness, that your essence is the seed of life. You are the embodiment of the human genome. Yeah? And the human genome contains all life forms in the universe. So your physical body here contains, it's housing all life forms in the universe. You could say that your body is the physical universe. So starting from this knowledge, the knowledge of self, that you are the seed of life and everything else is a byproduct of the very fact that you exist. It means that being and creating happen simultaneously. Yeah? That the outer universe comes into being created as a result of you existing. Being and creating happens simultaneously. It doesn't happen by action, which is something that is mostly overlooked or we forget about. Our actions come to reflect whether we are aligned to this knowingness or not. And we have a choice. We have a choice to experience both as aspects of our beingness. Our beingness has many, many aspects, and one has infinite aspects of itself. And the choice that we have is the power to make a choice is actually our sovereignty. That's where our freedom is. We could choose to align to our knowingness or not. And each perspective will give you a certain unique experience of your own reality. So now, going back to continuing part 1 of Science of Beingness, we are going to our structure that we started, This triangle here that you see forms the Trinity of Wholeness, or the 3 principles that I explained. And it is the so-called blueprint, or the ground of being, or how one creates one's reality. Sacred geometry is is also a mirror of your own knowingness. Yeah? And you come and you form. Every time a reality comes into being, it gets anchored in sacred geometry with the Trinity of Wholeness, or this triangle. Yeah? And your essence is here, your beingness. Yeah? It has no beginning and no end. It is that which has always been. And your beingness lives in simultaneity of being, meanings it exists in all life forms simultaneously in all universes in existence. When one chooses to place oneself's focus in this knowingness, then one feels very safe, secure, and also very confident, because now one knows how one creates one's own reality. That is the living being that you are. It's a very familiar with this natural law. What natural means, it means without effort. Yeah? That's what naturally really means, that you know your nature, you know that you are, your essence is the seed of life. And that happens effortlessly with or with you being choosing to be conscious of it or not. So we have the living being that is conscious of this of the natural law, and then we have a so-called a social engineer persona, which is a construct. Yeah, it's a construct. It's an aspect of our being that we put into place, and it's a mirror of ourselves, and it exists it exists as a byproduct or of where one places one's focus. Yeah, and when one places one's focus outside of oneself rather than in the essence of being, that it takes a social engineer persona or a mental construct, yeah, in order to understand and read so-called a mirror or a projection of oneself. And a persona, a social engineer persona construct, is the belief, the way one constructs a belief system is by choosing to focus on observing the outside of oneself. So it's a certain lens and a certain point of view, and it is valid and very well honored by Source or God. It's just God choosing to look within the mirror of itself, or within the projection of itself, rather than its own essence. What usually happens when one looks outside of oneself at circumstances or other people, they look at the absence of that which they desire. They speak of not what they desire. They speak of what they are observing, and they're speaking about the lack of it. Like when we have conversations about what is wrong with the world, or what do we have to fix, and how we're gonna go about it. So we are sifting and sorting through circumstances and putting them into pile, and then deeming them good or bad or anything in between. And we are very busy placing our focus there, and then we overlook our essence, yeah? The fullness or the wholeness of who we are, the wholeness of being. The flow of well-being is our natural state. But we can also choose to look at the lack of it. It's a very unique perspective. I'm just explaining the mechanism on how that takes place, so there'll be a better understanding on how does things that mostly you don't want come to you. It's a matter of where you place your focus. Yeah, it's not a matter of your circumstances, because you are not of cause and effect. So going back to this, like I said, please watch part 1, because this will totally make sense of what I am speaking about. But going back to this, yeah, here's a drawing that I did. So here's your essence, the Trinity of wholeness. Yeah, it's the triangle that you're the seed of life, and then you're the embodiment of it, the essence of you. Yes, and the physical universe is a byproduct of your existence. Okay, so now you could see how the blueprint, all the or what I call the ground of being, yeah, the ground of being, your knowingness is the seed that you plant in the ground of being, or you plant seed of this knowingness in the ground that we walk on here. Yeah, the earth is the physical manifestation of the ground of being, and we place our knowingness or our seed, and then all life forms sprout into being as a result of our existence. So going back to that, let's say that most when we place our focus outside of ourselves or on our circumstances, yeah, we are traveling through the linear timeline. I'm not sure if I'm showing this as a mirror or you could see. Yeah, you can. So let's call these events in our life A, B, C, D, E, and so forth, in linear, from the linear perspective, yeah, in time and space. Okay. Now, if you can think of this, instead of thinking this as events or happening in your life, think of them as perspectives instead, like infinite perspective, how the living being going through an experience, call these experiences, yeah, perspectives or point of view, how the one that you are is looking at itself from infinite perspective. It can go on and on and on and on. Okay. So each living being creates their own reality by the way they think and feel. They establish a blueprint. We think and we feel, and we think and we feel, and we think and we feel, and we build momentum. And we gather momentum, meaning we gather energy. And then energy transforms into mass as a result of momentum, and then your reality would pop into being. Yeah, so it will pop. That's how things come into being. A very simple explanation. I'm sure there is a scientific, complicated one, but that's just very childlike and very easy to understand and comprehend. You think and feel, and you build momentum or energy, and then your reality would pop. And then to describe to yourself, the outside appears to you as a description, so you can describe to yourself what you're up to. So it mirrors back whether you are choosing to experience life from your essence, your own essence, or looking through the lens of belief systems. And you build belief systems by looking outside of yourself. So now, when you think and feel vibration, yeah, you know you're a vibrational meaning, yeah, that you put vibes out of all kinds and all sorts. Yeah, don't think of them as good and bad. Yeah, just think of movement instead, or motion. Huh? And I took a look at this as the timeline, the so-called timeline, or the base of your triangle. Yeah? Your own timeline. It is unique to yourself, and it belongs to you and you alone and your own universe. Each being is a universe unto itself. And by the way they think and feel, they make themselves a vibrational match to others, and then they call that the collective consciousness of humanity. But just remember that there are many collectives here, not just one that is focused on the linear timeline. There are many thousands of collectives here. Some are in embodiment, some are not. So now I am just going to refer to you and you alone as a universe unto yourself. So I am speaking about this timeline, your own, the basis of the triangle. Yeah? In your essence, this also coincides to the natural timeline of Mother Earth. Yeah? Mother Earth is a being that has her own natural timeline. The reason it's called natural is because it flows from the essence of being, and nothing ever bad happens to Mother Earth. She doesn't have any trees that are being polluted, or the sky is being polluted, or the air is being polluted. That is not, when somebody is referring to those kind of events, that only means that their focus is outside of themselves, and now they're looking through a lens, and they are looking at the absence of well-being. That's all that it means. So from now on is you will know discernment, to how to discern where you find yourself placing your focus. Nothing ever happens to Mother Earth, because nobody can mess up her natural timeline, her naturalness, her essence. What is a mother's essence made out of? Is made out of our essences. Yeah? She's a living being of 7+ billion beings, our own essence, yeah? Which we know what the essence is all about. Okay, so going back to this. Yeah? So every being thinks and feels, and they go through the emotional scales. They have time where they feel good, and they feel bad, and then they feel something in between. Yeah, which is fine, because it is just God experiencing itself from various perspectives and looking at itself from the perspective of maybe there isn't enough, or the absence of well-being. Very interesting perspective. So, going back to the timeline here, let's say we have an event A, B, C, D, and E. Just think of them as a universe unto themselves. Yeah? Each experience is a universe unto itself. Meaning, in order for B to happen, it doesn't have to be conditioned upon A being completed or even be visited or referred to by. So it stands independent and on its own, each experience. It is very unique to you because it's a way of looking at yourself from a certain perspective. Yeah? Usually the persona or the social engineered construct is not aware of its essence because it lives in a mirror. It's a projection. So it only refers to itself by checking out the conditions and circumstances. So it just goes like this. I did that in just a blue line. The colors really don't mean anything in specific. I just did them so you could see them. Yeah? And the social engineer persona does believe that B cannot happen until A does, or C cannot happen until A and B is complete, and so forth. The living being, the being that you truly are, that lives beyond the holographic universe, and beyond the holographic universe is where you really exist. Because your existence itself, it knows its essence, but it knows that each event is just a point of view or a certain perspective of the one looking at itself. Remember, there's only the one looking at itself from infinite perspectives. So when it knows that, it closes the loop, the gap. It closes the so-called aspect of the persona that either chases the future or is chased by the past. Yeah? So in your knowingness, you can move even backward in your timeline and close the gap. Yeah? And the way that looks like this. Think of this, that at each event, this is what happens. You could place this triangle because you're a multidimensional being, meaning all life forms in the universe. Yeah, you travel back and forth through many dimensions simultaneously. Yeah, you kind of go like this. Yeah? And you form the blueprint, and then every time you desire something or you wish for something, yeah, you expand. That's why I left this here, this part of a triangle going outside of yourself, and in soul language, that's really a symbol for expansion. And I am very, very convinced that soul language is understood by everybody, including this diagram. Okay. So as a result of that, you expand, yeah, this, and when you are in your knowingness and in your essence, when you come to be, knowing that you expand with every thought and every feeling that you think of, it creates expansion in the universe. Yeah, so you expand and you expand, and this spiral, it begins to overlap over this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, this one. Yeah? So more accurate, it would be to say that you weave aspects of your beingness, yeah, aspect of what you know, aspect in simultaneity of your being. Just like, for example, you weave a tapestry. Yeah? You go and fetch different colors or different threads. Yeah? So simultaneously, from aspects of your lives in other universes, you weave into being your life here. Yeah? And they overlap and they form the tapestry. That's how the living being within you experiences what the social engineer persona thinks of the past, present, and future. Okay? So keep that in mind. And so now, okay, so just think of this. Now going back to our first video, yeah, because we know so above, as above, so below. It also goes like this. Yeah. See? So now you have another one up, and you have another one down. We have another one up, one down in each and one of these. Yeah? Okay. Let me see if I have a drawing here, which I kind of drew the next step to this. So, you're the essence of being. Here it is, like this. Yeah? Essence of being. Yeah? Then, if you connect these three in here, yeah, you see here a triangle at the base of it. Yeah, is the beginning, the formation of the ground of being, the blueprint for your reality to pop into form. Yeah. So now you have this one as above, so below. If you turn it down like this, you have one above and one below. And somewhere in here, there is a drawing with that, but just look at this one. If you draw one upside down here, you're going to see here how the square is formed. Yeah, that's what it means to be squared away. That you got clarity in your head, meaning that you have pointed yourself and your focus back in your essence. And then your beingness is already resetting the blueprint to the original, your original intention or your original desire. That's what it means, that you have a pure desire that has not been messed up when you run it through the muck of belief systems that no longer serve you. Be aware of those. And not that they are good or bad, it's just that they serve you to a certain point, and now you kind of have to let them go because they don't apply to what you wish to create from now on. So, I see hello everybody. I have a lot to say and I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Which we all have a tendency to do because we're very excited about our knowingness and where we're going with it. And even if the things don't quite turn out the way we think that we do, we don't care because we're not result-oriented. We are in a here and now, and we are more into observing and enjoying being and creating simultaneously. Yeah, that's what it means to be present with yourself, that you're not projecting yourself. There's only here and now. Yeah, even if you talk about the future, you still talk about it from this perspective, here and now. Yeah? It's a unique perspective, how you look at you in a certain way, and then you call that your future, but it's just an aspect of your being, one way how you want to look at yourself. Okay? So, going back to where are we? Very, very important thing is to know that when it's a matter of to where you place your focus, that you will begin to notice whether you are creating your reality or you're regurgitating it. Yeah? Whether you're running through the lens of your belief system. And the way you will know it is that you begin to effort. Because the natural one, the being that you are, lives life effortlessly, regardless of the circumstances. So, when you find yourself in any kind of efforting, yeah, that's how you create, how fear is created. Because fear is just natural guidance system. It doesn't, the being that you are, it doesn't send you outside of yourself to figure out the circumstances and improve them or change them or work at them. It's just giving you a signal, yeah, that you have departed from this knowingness. Not that there's something wrong that you have done that way, yeah? And now you're looking at the absence of well-being. That's it. And so that doesn't feel good, no matter how valid that choice is. It just doesn't feel good. Just like children, they quit doing immediately what doesn't feel good because they know if it doesn't feel good, they're not supposed to have their focus placed there. So children and the animal kingdoms, they are the best in keeping with the natural timeline of Mother Earth. They live effortlessly. If you see animals immediately when they feel even the body being tired, they just go to sleep. They take a break. They decide to withdraw their focus back into their inner being, because they know once they do that, immediately the essence of who we are begins to replenish ourselves and aligns ourselves back to our natural state. So you don't even have to align yourself. You just have to point yourself inward, and then you will be taken care of and looked after, yeah, naturally. So if anybody has any questions, please write them to me. I'm reading the screen. And if not, I think I'm going to maybe mention one more thing. So, belief system versus knowingness. Very important distinctions. That's why we have discernment in it's called wisdom, to have discernment, that we know the distinction between what is natural and what is not. Yeah? And the way we know that is because we feel when we enter effort. As soon as you find effort, that's how you know. And usually belief systems are based on lack, or the ones that no longer serve you. The way we form them, they're either given to us or it's a byproduct. Actually, our belief system is a byproduct of observing others or circumstances outside of ourselves. That's how you form a belief system. That is the mechanism on how a belief system comes about. So, I am very happy that I have been spending some time with you here, and let this sink in. Let this sink in, because it takes a while to. So much is being said when these kind of presentations are being made, and I am trying to stay as clear as I can, but usually I also go back myself to it and listen over and over again, because the beingness that you are in simultaneity, there are layers and layers and layers. It's very rich what is being downloaded. So every time you go back to it, you hear more and more and more and more. And actually the being that you are hears all the answers that are being given to all levels of your knowingness, which is something amazing. And I do hear them as well, and that's why these kind of transmissions make me feel very good. I don't know what they're all about, because I only try to absorb the one that is most relevant for me this week or now, today, and then tomorrow I know something that I need to know. It will come to me. It will definitely come to me. So it's like I'm not trying to eat the whole pizza on a plate, just one slice at a time, and enjoy my meal. Yeah, like this is food for the soul. So, soul family, I love you. Thank you very much. And I will try to continue, like I will try to make these little snapshots as I get insights. I stay very open to insights. Like every day I tell myself, I don't know anything. I just want to start fresh and new. And then be open, so I get the nuggets and the insights that I'm allowing them to come to me rather than chasing after them. So I stay very open, and I just tell myself, all I know is that I am, and that is enough. And then from there on, I'm just open to receive the freshness and the newness of who I am. Not just like opening your window and getting fresh air every day. So thank you very much for watching, and you could send comments or questions, and I will try to watch it and answer back. And but just remember that the Council of Hyperborea is very important, because a lot of people asking me, who is the Council of Hyperborea? So the Council of Hyperborea is the council of your own beingness. Yeah, the being that you are, have the all-knowing within your being. And all councils of all races, of all throughout the universe, they have one basic set of instructions that say, look within yourself. That's where you find all the answer. They say the compass always points you inward to your essence. Huh? The reason I just happened to draw from the name, the name is a very symbolic. Hyperborea means beyond the holographic universe, meaning beyond the mirror, because who you are is not, you can go and choose and look at your own reflection, meaning look at your circumstances or other people. It's a choice. Just like if you go and look in a mirror every now and then, but you have this knowingness, that who you're looking in a mirror is not the real you. So now that you know that, you also know. That's what Hyperborea means, beyond the holographic universe. Hyperborea, because a lot of people tie the council with the North Pole and the inner Earth and all kinds of like outer manifestation. And then they go on Google and then they send me things about what it means. So I'm going to mention just very basic cosmogony to clear that out. Basic cosmogony says that the North Pole is the representation of your knowingness, that you are the essence. You are the essence, the seed of life. That is the so-called North Pole. And the South Pole, is how far you wish to travel, you wish to journey in your beingness from that knowingness. That's pure cosmogony, basic 101 cosmogony. And the inner earth that people dig and they think they got to inner earth and all that stuff, they might have, is your inner being made manifest. It's not a physical place, it's a state of being. Just like Mother Earth is, the Earth experience is a certain state of being. It's not a physical place. And I know you know that. So I just wanted to clarify what the Council of Hyperborea symbolically represents. And so now you, if it resonates for you, you take it. If not, take what resonates and leave the rest. Take what helps you, and the rest, never mind. Okay, well, thank you, and see you soon. And I hope this made sense for you and it was helpful to you. Thank you much.